What is up, wrestling fans? Welcome to part 2 of our tier list here for the Smark Moment Smack Talk podcast video edition. In some ways, as I mentioned before, in the women's division section, part 1, we are doing this mostly as a video related thing. So if you are listening to us on iTunes, Stitcher, Spotify, Google Podcasts, Apple Podcasts, whatever different fruit podcasts or whatever there are out there, the mango podcasts. Why don't I make that more of a network thing? I don't know. Different story for another day. If you're listening to that and you're just listening to our voices, it's going to be a lot harder to keep track of things. So I recommend you to go over to the YouTube channel, and you should normally be doing that anyway, because it's what we usually try to cater towards. But this time we actually have like full on video for you to watch. So it's kind of like the Sporkle trivia quizzes that I used to do back in the day and stuff. It's actually something to be more visual. Tier list things work out better that way. So hop on over to the YouTube channel, and when you're there, ring that little notification bell, subscribe to the channel if you haven't done that already, hit that little like button on the video as well, leave a comment, tell us your thoughts on the rankings, your thoughts on what you would rank these different people to be, and so on and so forth. And we already did the women's division part. So go back and check that if you have not checked that out. If you have not checked that out and you're clicking on just this one, then hey, I am Tony Mango. I've got Robert DeFelice and Callum Wiggins with me. And we are going to just basically go through the roster. As you can see right here, we've got these different sections. We've got all these different male superstars to get to. And we're going to try to breeze through this a little bit quicker than we did with the other ones, since there's just so many names. So no need to break it all down. You should know by now. Go back and check the other thing out if you have not checked that out for the explanation of these tiers and stuff. You guys ready to go?
Hell yeah.
Alrighty, so bang, bang, bang. Just throwing people around. We may need to up that GOAT tier at some point or whatever like that. But just to throw somebody out there, just to get the ball rolling. Possibility, right? AJ Styles popping up in that GOAT.
AJ Styles as a GOAT, I would say that's a very strong possibility. I'm going to go right ahead and say John Cena's a GOAT.
Is he on this?
He is down there in the green shirt, the bright green shirt. You can't miss it.
Yeah, you cannot miss him. He's the only one wearing a shirt.
Yeah, I mean, it's John Cena. I might not be able to see him. Why don't we try to do it this way? There's going to be plenty of people that we have no opinion about. If we bump them off, that's not an O in the word bump. If we bump them off this thing, it'll whittle that down quite a bit. And we, of course, we're going to adjust this as we go along and stuff like that. But toss out some names. Who should we put in the no opinion side of things right now?
So let's see. I think both of the new superstars from the new tag team on NXT. That's
Rinku and Sarah.
Inducer.
Yeah. I think both of them are like they haven't shown enough yet to really get a marked opinion either way.
Yeah, I agree. I think that they've got some potential.
I mean, you could arguably go he's a jobber because that's how they're utilizing him, but we don't know how good he can actually be.
We are missing some people on here for anybody who's wondering, like, why isn't like Babatunde? Actually, no, Babatunde's right there. Daniel Vidot, I don't think it's on here. Like some of the people like that. So it's like, yeah, they would have no opinion too because we haven't seen them. Like we don't know anything about Anthony Francis. We don't know anything about Zechariah Smith. So yeah,
I'm a little mad that you didn't see Babatunde. He's pretty big.
Yeah, what do you think? Goat. Well, I have him on here already. Why don't we put him somewhere? I've seen the Evolve thing and Greatest Royal Rumble is all I've seen of him. So like, I really can't put him anywhere other than no opinion.
Yeah, I kind of just have an opinion at the moment. Yeah, it's hard to say. I mean, the only opinion I have is that he's a big dude.
Yeah, not a whole lot of people on this list are, but he certainly is. You already knocked out a little chunk of that. All right.
Yeah. What's some other people?
Who's this?
I struggle to remember his name. That's Shane Thorne.
That's
Shane Thorne.
Oh wow, didn't recognize him.
Yeah, that was a picture obviously taken from May. He looks different now on the WWE roster. He's got the white streak in his hair and stuff like that.
Who's the person to the left of Bobby Roode?
Ridge Holland.
Yeah, that's the guy that I was trying to remember.
All right.
He's in NXT
I gotta
UK
say
now.
no opinion. I
haven't seen enough of him.
I personally think he's middle of the road, but since it's 2 votes for no opinion and he hasn't wrestled a whole lot, it's better to put him there. I think he's got a big potential to him. He's a huge dude, and he moves pretty well. He's got a great theme, too. I gotta say no opinion for Rick Boogs for right now. This is a weird picture of him too, but that's the most recent picture that they have.
Yeah, well, he's only started to grow
He's
his hair a little bit
entertaining,
more.
but
Yeah.
oh, where's Connor Reeves? Hold on. Let's
If I'm Connor, just put him in the drizzling shades, get over.
Yeah,
Let's just go ahead and do that.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Okay, tier list is complete.
To be fair,
I think Brendan
I
Vink,
would potentially
Brendan
put Kona Reeves up at jobber, but he can go in there for now.
Brendan Vink can go into no opinion as well.
Yeah, I don't know anything much about him yet. He's got some potential, but certainly
I'd
not going to
say-
above average him or something right now.
Yeah, I'm just looking at some other ones that are there as well. So got
I would say Amir Jordan below par.
a jobber probably, just a size thing. If I was a company, he's too small to even be in like the below par.
I would
thing.
be lying if I told you that I could remember a single match of his. So
I'd say jobber.
I'd go jobber too now that you pointed that out. Let's see here.
Have a look at some of the ones. Any other ones that are kind of no opinion?
Boa.
And yeah, Boa's no opinion.
yeah.
Yeah.
In a lot of ways, the NXT crew is going to be no opinion because those are the ones.
Yeah,
I mean,
the ones that are more in developmental. Yeah. I'd say
NXT UK. A lot of people are like, let's go. Blah, 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 what are they called? The Hunt. I think I've seen enough of the Hunt to know that I'm not a big fan.
Below par.
Yeah, I'd say below par for both. I'd say below par.
I'd say jobber.
I'd say jobber for. I can't remember the other guy's name.
Primate.
But Wolfgang is below par. I'm not gonna say he's a jobber.
No, but I think that Primate is below par.
Why is his name? That's such a odd name.
And that's based on a lot of stuff that I've seen from outside of WWE. But like, I think that he has more potential than he's been let on with this tag team.
Maybe put him in there and keep Hitchman in there.
Any other people that was kind of like a no opinion side of things? I mean, I can't really say anything about Sam Gradwell.
No, he's no opinion. Where is
he's next to Sami Zayn.
I couldn't pick him out in the lineup.
He wrestled for the tournaments and then he got injured and he's been missing ever since.
Yeah, and I think I know enough about Saxon Huxley to know that I'm not a huge fan.
Not a fan either. Saxon Huxley.
Is he the guy next to Joe? Who's
no, that's Sunil Singh. Oh wait, on that side. Yeah.
I'd put him into.
I'd put him jobber drizzling shits. I'm not a big fan. I'd put
him in the bottom.
If I would put him in drizzling shits, I'd put Tyson T-Bone in there too.
Yeah, sure. Why not? Throw Tyson in there as well.
I don't watch any of NXT UK.
Yeah, the NXT UK guys. I mean, if we want to go through it, we could just go through the NXT guys. NXT UK guys and just move a lot of them around right now because there's not almost any that's going to go in this upper range for me for NXT UK.
Well, yeah, I understand that, but I just feel like I think we can just bounce generally because I don't think there's anyone else that I can kind of see just on a glance that I don't really have a zero opinion on now. I think we've cast all the people into no opinion that we would do.
No opinion guys.
I'm familiar enough with all the other ones that I could give an opinion on them.
Currently, I think it might mostly be.
We know all these people.
Yeah, I think that kind of takes out the no opinions.
Who's the guy next to McIntyre? On the
where's
Eddie Dennis?
Yeah, it's Eddie Dennis. Yeah.
Okay, I've seen his stuff. He's good. I like it.
I mean, if you want to start with some NXT UK people, we could just throw some of them out there then. So
why don't we go this front row and kind of whittle down some things? Oh, Arturo Ruas. Okay. He's an interesting guy.
Middle of the road.
I think he's got a lot of potential, but I actually might even put him at no opinion because I've seen some good stuff, but I haven't seen enough.
I'd say middle of the road. I think he's somebody who I've seen enough to know that I think he's got worth, but I don't know which way he's going to swing just yet.
Mm-hmm. Not a fan of Ashton Smith.
Nah,
I'd go jobber.
Jobber, yeah.
Don't have a clue.
Let's have a look at some of these other ones. So,
Bo Dallas, jobber.
He's got to be jobber, right?
He's got a bit of worth to him, but I probably would say that he works well as a jobber. If you strap on the Bo Leave gimmick, then maybe he could be below par, but that would only be the limit of it, really.
Below par. Should I switch this to?
Oh my god!
No, I'm not gonna do that. It changed anyway. There we go. Put him there
we're
for
definitely
now. Why not?
We're gonna ramp our way through this one, right?
Yeah. Speed demons.
I'd say Ari Daivari is below par. That or Jobber Stats.
Yeah.
He's decent. He's decent, but he just doesn't have a lot of character.
The highest I could move him is middle of the road. I mean, I like him. I'd employ him, but I wouldn't be like, throwing a belt on him.
Alexander Wolf below par.
I think he's middle of the road.
I'd go below par.
I just think he's got more character than a lot of people.
He's high end below par, maybe.
To me, if you get rid of anybody on Imperium, he's the one to toss out.
Oh yeah, he's definitely the one you get rid of. But yeah, okay, so that's fine. You guys can fit.
Rob, where do we put Bronson Reed?
Obviously, he's a goat.
He's middle. He's middle.
He's middle of the road.
I think he's middle of the road or below par, so I would go middle of the road.
He's a big boy. He does pretty good.
We haven't seen his full potential yet.
Yeah.
Let's decide. Adam Cole's main event, right?
He's up there. We might as well like try like move list up like that way kind of things. But if we get any kind of random things too, like I would, for instance, put Drew McIntyre main eventer.
Yeah, I think main event right now is a good place for him. He's shown enough, especially as WWE champion. I don't think he's a go, but not someone I'd build the company around, but definitely main event.
What? Just get him out of the way. What do we do with Brock?
He's a fucking goat, Tony.
Yeah.
Stop it.
Yeah, he's a guy you build a company around. As much as you like,
just toss him
if you can somehow convince him to work every single week, he's a goat.
Should we just do that with Daniel Bryan too?
I think Daniel Bryan's a goat. Yeah.
Yeah.
Just put him up there and get that out of the way.
I think those are like 4 staples that we can kind of build around. If we need to add slightly more to go, like maybe extend it to like 7 or 8, then we can. But I feel like
we'll see how many we get to where we're like.
I feel like those are 4 like just fixtures. I'd put, just looking at some other people, Aleister Black. Oh, Aleister Black's an interesting one.
Aleister Black I'd put above average for right now.
Above average, yeah.
I'm just seeing like if again like running the company. We'll leave him there for now, but I think that he's someone that could be pushed into the main event.
He could be a main event. He could be.
I think you should put
Andrade's above average. I think Angel Garza is main event.
For now,
not right now.
For now, I'd put all 3.
Yeah, but I've just got a sense like if I was running the company, I'd have already pushed Angel Garza towards the main event slot.
If I were running things, Angel Garza would have been the U.S. champion when Andrade was most recently, because Andrade had already won that title. He didn't need to win it again. It should have gone to Garza, and Andrade should have been bumped up to main eventer at that point. So Garza, I think, should be in this range right now, heading straight towards that range, because he is really good.
He's so good.
Let's go Bray Wyatt here. I cannot put him in GOAT. I don't even necessarily want to put him in main eventer. I kind of want to put him here, but I can see why people want to put him high.
He's a character. He's a main event to me.
Yeah, I think he's shown enough that even though he doesn't appeal to everyone, the people he does appeal to, he has a huge following with. So I'd say main event. Again with Braun, I'd put Braun main event.
I'd put Braun main event too. Not GOAT.
Yeah, I definitely wouldn't build a company around Braun, but again, main event. It's quite interesting that both world champions at the moment are both like, we just see main event, we don't see as franchise.
Well, we could potentially bump people up to at some point, but yeah, I'd like. So far, I'm comfortable with all these kind of things. Let's see, Akam.
See, it's weird because like you'd imagine that I'd put both members of Ospain there, but I think Razor's got more potential than Akam.
I think they're about the same. I think they're both middle of the road. They're above average in some ways, but the injuries and stuff have hurt their momentum.
They both go middle of the road for me. Fun Razor as well.
Razor, there you are. Still can't believe it took me that long to realize Occam's Razor with that team. It's just some random NXT event or something like that. I forget. I think it's on the podcast actually somewhere. If somebody wants to find it or something like that, where I'm just like, and Occam's Razor, that kind of thing.
I think it was with me, and you literally were just like, and Occam's Razor says, so I'm gonna go with this, and it clicked.
So some other ones.
Let's toss some random ones out there. Yeah,
both Usos.
They got to be on the same tier because they're exactly the same.
They're above average.
They're both above average.
You know, I'd go that way too because
I kind of see it's the main event tag team, and if you're a main event tag team, you can't be like main event in WWE.
For that matter, should we go ahead and put Big E and Kofi and Xavier there, or should we potentially put Kofi in main event?
I think Kofi and Big E
are main event. Xavier was above average.
So I got to look at both of them and say, yeah, I could make like a decent run with like the World Championship with both of those two. I mean, they have done one with Xavier's just a little bit more injury prone, a little bit. Because I just don't feel comfortable putting Kofi in the main event just because he was the world champion. It makes sense too, but like I feel like Big E could be world champion.
To me,
Big E could have gone that run.
To me, Big E is more on par with these three. I think Kofi's got something extra to him.
That's fair enough.
And I think that like Xavier, the only reason why he's not seen as maybe not necessarily on the same par as Big E is just because Big E's quite literally a little bit bigger, but I think Xavier's a little bit more entertaining in some ways. So I think that
Let's talk about someone bigger then. Let's talk about the Big Show. Recently returned.
Big Show. I mean, look, if you are talking legacy, he's up here and stuff. Now, no. Now he's below par.
Yeah, he's just it's hard to say, but it's just like he's not someone who you would utilize that much now in the company. He's like a good attraction, but that's about it really, and you'd have him lose to most people he faced.
Realistically, Big Show's not a roster member anymore.
No. Well, let's just add Kane to below par as well then.
Is he even on here?
Yep.
Oh.
Well, next to Karrion Kross there.
Yeah. Because I mean, Kane, of course, legacy, fucking amazing. But
okay, then let's do something controversial. Can I pull for Undertaker to go in drizzling shit?
That's definitely controversial. I think no matter what, even just if he stands in the ring and does nothing, you got to put him below par. Because he's fucking GOAT. Like, but
this Undertaker is not.
This Undertaker is not. So it's like I can't realistically say, I'd
I can't put him anything lower than middle of the road. Even now,
I'll bump him up to there. I'll work with you on that one. Because look, I mean, we all agree, Undertaker career. There's no discussion. He would be up on there. Undertaker in 2007, still up there. Undertaker in 2010. Undertaker in 2013. Undertaker in 2018, like that kind of thing. So it's like
Undertaker at Crown Jewel, you just move him
Undertaker at Crown Jewel. But then again, Goldberg at Crown Jewel.
Is Goldberg on this list?
No, Goldberg's not on this list, no.
Is he?
I'd like to put him in the drizzling shit.
Can we go opinion-wise?
He's not currently considered a roster member, so. But I just feel like, I'm fine on putting Undertaker middle of the road because he's kind of at least wrestling ability on a par with right now the Big Show and Kane, but he has more legacy value to him, so someone you might utilize more often.
Can we go Flash Morgan Webster below par?
I like him. He's
a good wrestler, but I'm trying to think.
Is he going to be an attraction?
No, not really. Probably below par then.
Yeah.
Bobby Lashley's an interesting one.
Main event.
Hey, I think he is main event, but I'm just wondering whether it's the main event or above average. But I think he's proven in the last run that he can be main event.
Yeah,
he can be main event.
Dawkins, below par, middle of the road.
I think Dawkins is solid. He's middle of the road. Montez Ford.
Above average. If
above average right now, he should be a mid card champion.
If Montez Ford is anywhere on this list, he has to be above Angelo Dawkins.
If they ever split, and I hope they don't, because I like Dawkins, but Ford's going
somewhere, and Dawkins is going to be the one that struggles. Let's see.
Put Dolph somewhere.
Oh, Dolph is perpetually middle of the road.
Dolph has to be around this. I mean, back in the day,
I think the stuff that he's been doing with like the Otis and Mandy Rose thing, I think he's middle of the road now. I'm not going to say that he's going to be like drizzling shit just because of my gimmick. I think he's middle of the road.
Depending on your point of view, Rob, I could be swayed for above average.
He's middle of the road.
But
he's middle of the road.
Let's go there then. Danny Burch, below par.
Middle of the road.
Yeah.
Actually, he's below par. Only Lorcan's middle of the road.
That's where
only out of the two of them has more character.
Oh, he tweets in all caps, and it's my favorite thing.
I'm gonna potentially probably make the argument that Oney Lorcan might go down, but I'm more confident with that.
Lars Sullivan.
But where is Lars?
Fucking put him somewhere. I don't even have an opinion.
Where is he on here?
He's next to.
There he is, next to Ligera.
Yeah,
there he is. Fucking a lot of ways. Where should we put him?
Yeah, I think I think if he didn't carry so much baggage, he'd be somebody I'd push a lot higher up. But
Yeah, I mean, if you're asking me pre the news dropping, I'd put him above average.
NXT, I'd go here. Main roster, he's done nothing, and he's only hurt his career.
Yeah, he's not really worth the trouble at this point.
No.
Apollo Crews is interesting because Apollo Crews, I think, prior to a month or so ago, would be either middle of the road or below par. But I think he's now above average. I think he's added a lot of
I still want to say middle of the road, but he's getting to be above average.
Between these two is where he's going to go for right now. I think above average. Austin Theory, I already think is above average, but I could see him go middle of the road for right now.
Middle of the road.
Bobby Fish, I'd go middle of the road.
Above average for all of them, except Adam, who's the main eventer.
See, Fish to me, great in-ring performer, the least interesting of the four.
Yeah, I think Fish is middle of the road, and I'd say if we're going to do all Undisputed Era now, put Kyle O'Reilly and Roderick Strong both in above average.
Yeah, that's where I'd go.
That's fine. I'll concede to that.
Where is?
I think again with the Bobby Fish thing as well, it's his injury status as well because he's been the one that's been most perennially injured as well.
Where is Roddy? Roddy. There you are.
There he is.
So
he's generic wrestler number 8.
Yeah. Jake Atlas, I'd go middle of the road for right now, but he's got some potential.
Yeah, it seemed like pivot upwards, but right now I'd put him as a middle of the road guy.
He's going to be a major player in the Cruiserweight division.
I'm trying to look at some other ones that might be below par. I'd put Elias.
Yeah, I'm really over Elias.
I'd
go. Doesn't do anything now.
I'd go middle of the road or below par.
Below par. He's staying there for me.
It's a shame. He's got a good look to him. Like, dude's big, but he just doesn't get the job done.
I'd put, even though I've liked a lot of some of the stuff that he's done, and I think he's pretty good in ring, I'd put Eddie Dennis just as a jobber status.
Yeah,
because I just don't think that he has the either character or the build really to go a bit further than that.
I don't dislike him, but I can't rank him higher than the jobber, really.
How about Dave Mastiff?
He's massive.
He is a massive Dave.
He's as massive as Babatunde is big.
Yeah. Massive Dave Mastiff, I say, is below par. He should be much better off, but he's just not.
I think in my company he'd probably be. See, because it's just looking at like, would I put him above the Big Show right now? Yeah, I probably would. So I'd probably go middle of the road.
That's fair.
Would you trust him to be a better in-ring performer than Akam and Razor? Akam and Razor?
This is good. He's definitely as good as them.
I would say he's better.
I think he's better in the ring.
I'd put him right next to big old Bronson Reed there.
Middle of the road, we're going?
Yeah, middle road, I think.
If we're going him with middle of the road, I think Damian Priest goes higher. I think he goes above average.
Yeah, but I like Mastiff. Just like it's like there's the difference there. Damian Priest does nothing for me.
To me, Priest is significantly more entertaining than Mastiff, and some of the other people in here. I
disagree with that. And I think Rob would agree with me with that side as well.
Where do you want to put Damian Priest?
He wants to put him in above average.
Above average.
Absolutely not, Tony.
Middle of the road.
Yeah, middle of the road. Yeah. He's good. I just don't feel like. Well, because I would put someone like, let's say, I'd put Cameron Grimes in above average.
Oh, I'd put him middle of the road or below par. I'm not all that into him.
I think he's much better in the ring, and he's got more personality than Damian Priest, in my mind.
Where's Grimes go for you, Rob? The difference maker between these two?
He's middle of the road.
Boo. Let's see.
I enjoyed his match. To be fair, I enjoyed both their matches with Finn Balor. And speaking of Finn Balor, he's main event.
Where do we go with Edge? I just grabbed him.
If it's now Edge's main event.
Main event?
Yeah. Also grab Finn Balor and put him in main event as well.
Where is Balor?
Yeah.
Balor, I'm disappointed as all hell, but I still have to kind of put him in main event. To me, Balor overall career from expectations, above average, middle of the road. But
Cesaro for me would be main event, but if you guys want to say above average, I understand.
I'd go above average.
Well, if it was my company, he'd be main event.
Yeah. He's a main event for me. He just.
I would say above average for now. Leave him in above
Yeah, we
average for now. Maybe we'll
bump
push him up.
Let's go over some random things that we don't.
Yeah,
have
let's
as
go
many.
for some random ones.
Like where's like Ligero fall for you? I go below par.
Jobber. I think he's a fun jobber.
Jobber.
He's really good. He's actually really good in the ring, but like
I'm cool with Jobber.
I'd put him in the below par, and I'd move Flash Gordon Webb.
What is that mask, guys? Like, let's be real. What is that mask?
That's how he stands out.
Fair enough.
It's a Liger. Kalisto.
He's good.
Middle of the road.
Yeah.
No.
Maybe below par. Like he could have been a lot great.
Thing. Yeah.
He could have been great, but he didn't.
I'd say middle of the road. He's definitely not bad. So he's not a lesser person. So I don't think that he needs to go lower than middle of the road.
So let's go with El Hijo del Fantasma, aka Santos Escobar.
I'm gonna go above average.
I think above average, yeah.
All right, I'm cool.
He's got a lot more potential. I think he's someone I look at in NXT, and even though he's Cruiserweight champion now, I could see him potentially maybe being a North American or even world champion at some point if they build him correctly.
Yeah, I'm a fan of that dude. If we're
Who's
going
next to Jordan Devlin?
Well, real quick, if we're going Kalisto on here, let's do Metalik and Dorado. I think that Kalisto is the best of the three. I think that Metalik's the lowest of the three.
Honestly, I think Metalik is the best of the three. Kalisto's in the middle, and Dorado is the lowest.
See, that's why I got different in the fact that I think that Kalisto's the worst of the three, and Metalik's the best, and Dorado's the second best.
So,
well, I think they're all middle of the road, just different scales of middle of the road.
So wait, so how did we have this? This is how I had it ranked.
Kalisto,
Dorado, Metalik.
I say Metalik is the best of the three. Kalisto's the middle, and Dorado's the last.
Yeah, and I have Metalik on top with Dorado second and Kalisto third.
But Callum, he does good lucha things.
So we have a vote for Kalisto as 1, 2, and 3, Dorado as 2, 2, and 3, and Metalik as 1, 2, and 3. That kind of seems like Dorado's number 2 then. And that's just all over the place.
If you average it out, then Dorado's number 3.
Oh, that's true. Yeah.
If Dorado go out, then it should be Metalik 1, Kalisto 2, Dorado 3.
So I guess they're just going to put all on the same range here.
Yeah, they will be there.
They're the same being. They are. They all do good.
Let's talk about a luchador that is further ahead of that, and that's Rey Mysterio, who's at least above average, if not main event.
I mean, like legacy, he's a fucking goat. He is.
Oh,
yeah. But now I'd go above average.
Right now, I'd say above average.
We saw all these people. This is more than we had of the women's division, I think.
Yeah. Let's do Mojo.
Where is Mojo?
Next to Murphy.
Fuck him. Sorry.
Just leave Murphy in that riddle. Yeah.
Like I like Mojo. I'm sure he's a nice guy, but
drizzling shits or Jobber. It's got to be one of the two.
Jobber, I'd say. He's got some value to him, but Jobber.
I'd be okay with putting him in drizzling shits.
Yeah, I don't think he's that bad. If Gronkowski was here, I'd put him in drizzling shits. But
Truth.
I'd go above average or middle of the road. I'd lean towards above average.
Above average.
I think 5-10 years ago it'd be above average. I think now it's middle of the road.
You know what? Honestly, I feel like that's swapped for me. 5-10 years ago, I probably would have even said, middle of the road, maybe below par. But I love the character work he's done.
Mm-hmm. And he looks exactly the same as he did then. So
to be fair,
he's a vampire.
He looks exactly the same like he did 20 years ago.
R-Truth now has a more marketable look to him than half the people on this roster. More than half. Mm. You show me like you don't ignore the age range and stuff like that. You say like, okay, who do you want to build a company around? R-Truth or I don't know, Bobby Fish. I'm like, R-Truth is the star between the two of them. Like, Bobby Fish, more entertaining in the ring. R-Truth, more entertaining character. I'd go above average for R-Truth.
All right, let's address one that's going to have a bit of discussion, just so we can get out of the way. Where is Corbin going?
He's got to go above average or main event.
No, he's not.
Middle of the road.
Middle. No, above average.
Yep.
He's a good talker, and if you don't overexpose him, then he can do some really good stuff. But it's just
Wolf Corbin, I'd have put middle of the road. I hate that he's like the dorky heel. I just don't for him.
I think
I'd full blown main event him. So if Callum's saying above average, I'll stick with above average.
Well, it's just a case of like, if it was my company, I could do something with him. Like, he's got more potential, I see, than a lot of others, and some of the other people.
I think, but if we're getting to the nuance of that, if it was my company and I could have him as like the lone wolf, I'm gonna beat you up in Golden Gloves guy, I'd put him in the main event. But the way he's presented now, he's just middle of the road to me.
I think he's above average. I think he's somebody who may occasionally go into the main event, but I think he works well as like a top mid-card champion.
So I think we all kind of had the same opinion. Potential, the way WWE uses him.
Yeah.
That kind of thing. For anybody who's watching,
if it's the way WWE uses him, he's drizzling shits for me.
Oh, yeah.
For anybody who's just listening, it's we're moving on main event, above average, that kind of thing. So that's why we're going in there.
Let's see.
Let's also have some lower people. Why not?
So the Singh brothers.
Singh brothers, I think to me, jobbers.
Yeah, both jobbers. Yeah,
they're good in some ways. Where is the other one?
And he's next to Sami Zayn.
Oh, there he is. They're fun,
yeah,
but they're they're fun as jobbers. Like
I would add Kenny Williams to that as well as a jobber status.
I'd go below par for Kenny Williams. To me, he and Danny Burch are kind of in a lot of the same thing. Like Kenny Williams has, if they moved him over to the Cruiserweight division, I'd buy him as a challenger. But
okay, yeah, that's fair. That's fair. I'm fine leaving him there. What about Swerve?
I like Swerve. I don't love Swerve.
Middle of the road.
Yeah, I'd say middle of the road.
Oh, Tony, where do you want to put Humberto?
Below.
He's got to go below. He's got to go below.
He's not that bad.
He's just generic.
He's people that he's
joining that listed. He's probably a better wrestler than all of those people on the.
All right. I'll give Callum that.
But is he as entertaining as any of these? Like,
Ruas.
Who would you rather see? Do you think that he's on par with Bobby Fish?
No, but I
do think he's on par with Cameron Grimes, though. I'll say that.
Yeah, well, I think Cameron Grimes should be below par.
I think he's on par with Daniel Preston. No, okay, we'll leave him below par for now. But I feel like he's someone that I might fight a little bit more to move him up when we get around.
He's just so generic. I just want them to do something with him.
Okay, random one, Killian Dane.
At this point, middle of the road's the highest I can go with Killian Dane. But I'd actually go below par.
Yeah, it's hard
to, compared to Elias, like he's on the same kind of level as Elias to me.
I would say maybe, yeah. I think leaving there for now, maybe someone that you move up, but I feel like there's more potential with him, but I just don't know how much.
Yeah.
Akira Tozawa.
I like Tozawa, but they're fucking him over so much.
He's middle of the road.
If
he was my company, he's someone who you just perennially be in the mid card, occasionally fight for a title, that sort of thing.
Dragunov. I think middle of the road, maybe even above average.
He's someone who does have he seems to have a lot of potential to me, but I don't know whether I'd go ahead of middle of the road right now.
For who is it?
Ilya Dragunov.
Dragunov to me, I'm not loving as much. I'd probably go middle of the road.
Yeah, I go middle of the road. Yeah, I think that's fair. Jeff Hardy. Again, legacy high up there right now.
Above average?
I'd say above average. He surprised me with how good that match with Sheamus was.
Yeah, I like that quite a bit.
Speaking of which,
let's go with Sheamus somewhere around here.
Main event.
I think I can't put Cesaro not in main event and have Sheamus in main event. I know Sheamus has one more titles and maybe has a bit more personality, but there's also the fact that he's probably got a shorter wrestling career expectancy than Cesaro does.
He's beaten up at this point, and he's already done a lot of things. If this were a couple years ago, I'd go main event. Now I'd go above average.
Yeah, I'd say above average is a fit for him right now.
Let's do Eric and Ivar.
Eric and Ivar. Eric's middle of the road. Ivar's above average.
I'd go both middle of the road.
I think Ivar has more potential if you were to make, like, if you were stupid enough to split them up, Ivar could actually do something more just because he's huge and he's got a lot of flexibility.
Where are you
I
thinking,
know there's
Rob?
a lot of people that's like that.
Should they be both middle of the road? Should Ivar be up at above average?
I think they should be on the same tier right now because they're peanut butter and jelly. You know?
Stick to middle of the road.
Yeah. Maybe leave it there for now. What about? I mean, Keith Lee's an interesting one for me.
Fucking main event.
Main event.
Well, yeah, it's main event for me. But I also look at him and think that's a guy you could build a company around.
I would agree with that.
He is very much. I can't sing enough praises.
Main event for now.
He's a possible goat.
If we
agree on
have
that?
Adam Cole and Drew McIntyre at main event, I'm gonna put Keith Lee there. But I mean,
because Cole's a good measure stick. Because I'd build a company around Adam Cole.
Yeah, so Keith Lee's one of those, like, we might be bumping him up at some point.
Well, someone that you can definitely build a company around is Kevin Owens.
Oh, absolutely.
Kevin Owens, I think, is the most well-rounded wrestler in WWE. I'd go him.
Let's goat him for now.
Yeah, I would.
We've goated him into that spot.
I'd go the shit out of
it.
Let's see. Let's go Forgotten Sons. Let's throw them out there. Forgotten Sons to me are below par.
Below par.
I think two of them are below par. I still think that there's something about Jackson Riker that you could do something with.
But
at
this point,
I
you might
always
want to release
Jackson Riker's corner. He's Gunner from TNA. Like, I need to.
Here's where I kind of see them. The three of them as a tag team, above average, middle of the road, depending on the circumstances. If it's like an NXT in a time frame where there's no tag teams and stuff, above average. If they're like in the best sort of range of a tag team, middle of the road, below par. If you go individuals, Riker's got the most potential if he can keep his mouth shut. Wesley Blake drizzling shits at some point. Cutler below par.
Cutler would be a jobber, yeah.
So I'm like, I think collectively they're below par.
Yeah, I think that's fine for now. I still would argue that Riker's at least middle of the road, but we can change it maybe at some point, or just leave it. It's not the huge deal. What about Otis and Tucker? Otis and Tucker.
Otis has
to be a higher tier than Tucker.
Below par. It's very strange, but I'm gonna put Otis above average, Tucker below par.
I'd kind of go that way too.
Yeah, I can go along with that.
Because I don't even think that Tucker is necessarily middle of the road. I think that he's fallen short by a wide margin.
Yeah, by a big margin.
Let's have a look at
Tony Nese, average. If there was an average tier, he'd be average. I mean,
no. Well, I think if you put him in his wrestling ability, he's either middle of the road or probably leaning towards above average. I think just his severe lack of personality makes him almost a below par.
Yeah. Looks wise above average. Wrestling overall, middle of the road. Personality below par. So I kind of think it balances out to middle of the road.
Yeah, maybe for now. Yeah, I think that's fine. Let's go Gallus.
Yeah.
Coffee has the most potential. Joe Coffee, I should say.
I would say Mark Coffee below par, Wolfgang below par, Joe Coffee middle of the road.
Trying to think.
Where's Joe Coffee on this list? Here he is.
Yeah, Joe Coffee, I'd say, is middle of the road. Yeah, so the other two are probably below it. I've never been a huge fan of Wolfgang, but I don't think he would fit in the jobber status yet.
I kind of, I like to merge things. I look at a lot of tag teams as like, well, if you did the sum of their parts, what would it be? And I'm like, you know what? If you told me you could take the best parts of all three Gallus boys, then I don't think Wolfgang offers all that much. I don't think that Joe offers all that much. And it's mostly still just, Mark.
Yeah.
Joe is the one that's like, it's mostly just built around. So you just add a little bit of height to Joe Coffee and you got an above average dude. The two of them, like all three of them as a group, it's like you got a trio of C pluses with a B in the mix kind of thing.
Joe Coffee is a little more than a B in my opinion, but that's Just my take.
Raul Mendoza, below par?
Yeah.
Yeah,
I haven't seen enough
he's
of him.
good. He's good, but I just don't. Yeah, I just don't think that he stands out enough.
Maybe
Okay, here's a weird
maybe
one.
Joaquin Wild, same for now.
Yeah, that's easy.
He's a little bit more
Yeah.
middle of the road to me, but I think that we might see these two change now that they're
Yeah.
teaming up with Escobar.
Shinsuke Nakamura, where does he go?
Shinsuke to me, middle of the road.
Yeah,
No, I can't look at Shinsuke Nakamura and not think main event.
I think he's someone who he's someone who I picture because of the New Japan stuff and all the other things that he should be main event above average. But then I look at what he actually delivers. I think it's more leaning towards the below par side of things rather than.
That sucks, man.
I know.
But it's. I think he's just middle of the road.
Yeah.
I look at him and Cesaro, and I think Cesaro is the one that would be someone who I'd push more towards the main event than Shinsuke.
Wow, that's miserable. Oh, that's such a sad truth.
It sucks to say, but that's fully how I agree about that.
What about Sami? Sami Zayn.
He's an interesting one because at one point he was like above average, all the potential in the world to be a Ricky Steamboat babyface. Now I kind of feel like he's below par.
I kind of feel
he doesn't wrestle enough anymore.
He's above average, middle of the road to me. It's like when all things work out, above average, but he keeps getting in his own way and he ends up being middle of the road.
I think if he can still wrestle like he used to, and you give him again, if you're running the company, you give him a bit more reign and utilize him more, then he can be above average. So I'd go above average.
2 votes for that.
What about if we've done like Gallus? Let's do Imperium.
All right.
We've already got Alexander Wolf up there.
Are we
Walter's
Walter's above Eichner and Bartel.
He's a main event guy. Walter.
I don't know if I'd go full main event. I think I'd go above average for Walter.
I think Walter's presence makes him a main eventer. He's just someone who you look at and just think, yeah, this dude knows, like, this guy should be in the main events.
I mean, like, Tony, it's your right to be wrong, but Walter is the main event.
2 votes for main event.
And I think both Bartel and Eichner both fit into. They're either middle of the road or they're above average.
I'd go above average, actually. I'm digging quite a bit of them. But if I had to split them by any chance, I'd go Bartel above average, Eichner middle of the road. There's something about Bartel that I kind of go, the more and more that I see him, I'm like, this guy kind of gets it in a weird way. Like,
it's that Alex Wright vibes you're getting from him, isn't it?
So where are you guys leaning between them?
I think they're pretty similar. I think Bartel has more character and personality. I think Eichner's the better wrestler of the two of them, but they're both really, really good. So I'd say that I'd put them on the same one, but I don't know which one. At the moment, I go middle of the road.
What do you think, Rob? Middle of the road or above average?
Middle of the road.
All right, let's put them there.
It's tight though. I think they could be moved up.
So we have one more till we get down to 3.
Well, there's some big names we haven't discussed yet, but I kind of want to leave some of the big ones to the end of it.
Let's toss Titus. He's drizzling shits or jobber, right?
He's not drizzling shits. You can't put Titus in the drizzling shit.
Tell me a good Titus O'Neil match.
I don't care about his matches. It's just a personality. Yeah, it's like I can't name you a single great.
I can't give you a good Otis match. Where like, Otis?
Yeah, can't name a great Otis match or a great
Jobber then.
Yeah, I'd say Jobber.
He can't be above Jobber. The dude trips to the ring and stuff. Like, you know.
I think that's a fair position for him. What about Kushida?
I like Kushida. I don't love Kushida. I think I'd go maybe above average, maybe middle of the road.
From what I know of Kushida, I'd put him above average, but it's the idea of like running WWE is he on par with Akira Tozawa, or is he better than Akira Tozawa?
Yeah, maybe I'd go middle of the road.
Again, I don't want to compare with like the two Japanese guys, but it's like it's him. There's people like him. There's Akira Tozawa. There's Jade Catalyst. They're all on pretty similar level.
Scott,
like, they're good
Ziggler,
cruiserweight guys. Yeah,
Kalisto.
Like they're good cruiserweight guys. Yeah, they're good cruiserweight guys. So see some other names. Should we throw out a big one? Let's put Seth Rollins somewhere.
Let's see.
Seth main event. It's Seth's main event, right? I wouldn't put in Go, but I'd put in main.
Yeah, I'd go main event. Not really digging a lot of the things that he does all the time, but I'd go main event.
Yeah, I think he's someone you could definitely carry as like the world champion at some point. Obviously, he has done.
Let's go Drake and Gibson.
Gibson's above average. I think Drake's. I don't know if he's below par, but he's definitely no higher in the middle of the road.
I'd kind of go Gibson, middle of the road. Drake below par or middle of the road.
I'd say Gibson's above average.
I think Gibson's talking ability pushes him.
He's got people taking their shoes off. Like,
I wouldn't put Gibson in the same range as these guys, though.
That's fair. So maybe okay. So, but I think that Drake needs to be a step lower than Gibson, just because he doesn't have the force of personality that Gibson has. See some other. I'm trying to see if there's Morrison and Miz.
Main event. I'd be more willing to put Miz main event and Morrison above average, though.
See, I'd be more willing to do the other way around.
I think they're both main event.
There you go. Two main events.
I think the Morrison now in 2020 is more positioned to be a main event than he was a couple of years ago.
All right.
But I still don't know. I don't like the Miz being main event.
I know you don't like
Oh no, it's all okay. So, he's not good enough in the ring to be main event.
Yeah, but personality goes a long way.
I know we've got Braun Strowman and Bray Wyatt there, but it's like.
Because to me, I think if you're going to go that he's not as good in the ring, I go, well, Balor doesn't have the personality. Balor can't cut promos the way that he thinks that he can.
I think that's just categorically not true.
Yeah, I mean, now is where we get into the subjective dance of this.
We'll leave him there for now, but I will fight basically everybody who's going to probably get out of main eventer, and the Miz would be the one that would end up going down for me. Like, seeing like Aleister Black sitting in above average and Miz in main event just makes me a little bit annoyed.
We still have a whole bunch of these left, but really quickly for anybody who's paying attention and stuff, just some plugs to toss out there while
we still have so many people.
Yeah. Patreon.com/SmarkoutMoment if you want us to do more of these. There you go. Membership level stuff. Break that down. Darkcast things. We probably wouldn't do a tier list on it as a Darkcast, but pick your poison tier if you want to make sure that we do this. That's kind of the whole point. You get to specify what you want us to do, donate, and then...
I think you want to be in the Hall of Fame. You know what I'm saying? I think everybody wants to be in the Hall of Fame.
I think that's so. But even if you just want to lend a hand with $1 a month, that is greatly, greatly appreciated. So go ahead and check that out. Do the same thing for Fanboys Anonymous. Look at that. Same tiers. I'm very standardized.
You don't have OCD at all.
Yes. Join the Fanboys fan club. Join the Smarks club. Like that kind of thing. So yeah, show some support for fanboysanonymous.com. That's the site. Geek culture topics, movies, TV shows, comic books, the things that are listed on these kind of things like that. So
I want to make Tony watch all of Batwoman and then sit down and talk about it.
Like I said, pick your poison. If you want me to watch Batwoman, go ahead and do it.
I mean, I'm not going to give you $50 to do it, but I want you to do it.
So donate to the Patreon if you got the spare change and you want to help out quite a bit. Let's toss some lower people out here. Mark Andrews, not a big fan. I say below par. Same with Flash Morgan Webster.
That's fine. I think he's good in the ring, but again, probably not any higher than that.
Let's bang some out here. Cedric Alexander, middle of the road.
I agree.
Yeah.
Dexter Lumis, middle of the road.
Dexter Lumis is...
He's got potential.
Below par.
I would agree with that.
I'm not a huge fan of like shitty Undertaker.
I think he's got potential to go above average, but right now I'd put him in middle of the road. Where are you guys feeling again?
Below par.
Yeah.
Boo. I'd bump you and I'd bump Damian Priest up, just for the record, if anybody's clicking on this. Joseph Connors, we can put him jobber, drizzling shits, right?
Jobber. Yeah, I've seen enough of him to know that he can do good stuff, so I wouldn't put him in the drizzling shits. We haven't put many in the drizzling shits, which is probably like a good thing, really. I'm trying to look at anyone like the remaining ones that would really fit into the drizzling shits. Is probably just Jinder.
I wouldn't put Jinder in drizzling shits. I don't think that anybody.
Well, no, but he's the only one that I'd potentially put in there.
Travis Banks, I'd put below par. He could do some good stuff, but he's nothing all that special.
Yeah, he's not got a huge rep. Where would you put Jinder then? I would say he's no higher in the middle of the road.
Yeah, I'd go middle of the road for Jinder.
I would say I'd go middle of the road because I don't want to put him in above average. He's still gender.
Yeah, middle of the road for
So-
the 3-3.
I'd put, if we're going to go with like not even just the Mustache Mountain Collective, but go with the three big Brits that are left in it. I think Trent Seven is middle of the road because I think he's too good as a wrestler to put as a below par or anything like that. But both Tyler Bate and Pete Dunne could either be above average or main event. Really,
I'd go 7's below par.
I think he's better in the ring than most of the people that he's surrounded with in the below par one.
To me, Flash Morgan Webster, I'd see a match of his just the same. Carrillo, just the same. There's nothing that stands out to me about Trent Seven. His best matches are when he's with Tyler Bate. Tyler Bate carries half of that.
Well, both Tyler Bate and Pete Dunne are at least above average.
Oh, yeah.
Pete Dunne, arguably, could be a main eventer.
I'd go more above average for Pete Dunne.
I think Tyler Bate has more potential than Pete Dunne.
I can't say that right now.
They're both at least, let's leave them both in above average.
Average for those two.
At least there. They're both at least there.
And I'd argue 7's below par, not even middle of the road. I would much rather watch so many of these people than Trent Seven.
Okay, so for the record, I'd bump Trent Seven up and I'd take Damian Priest down. So,
where are you standing on 7, Rob?
He's middle of the road. I haven't seen anything that was ever like a bad match from him.
Yeah, 2 votes for that. 1 vote. I'd bump you down. Sorry.
All right,
Shelton Benjamin.
Mansoor. Hold on.
Mansoor first.
Why is Mansoor here? Like,
he's not
below
bad,
par.
but
we don't know anything about him other than he wins in Saudi Arabia.
Yeah, I'd go below par for right now.
Yeah, for the time being. What about Shelton Benjamin?
Shelton, I'd go above.
Middle of the road.
Middle of the road. That's what I mean.
If it was my company, yeah, I'd probably still put him middle of the road. I don't think he's quite above average yet.
If it was my company 10 years ago, he'd be in the main event.
Big fan of Shelton, but right now he's middle of the road. Let's go Orton. Let's take a big gun out.
Ooh.
Main eventer, GOAT. Where are we going?
GOAT.
I think now he's main event. I've never thought of Orton that you can build a company around Orton.
If we weren't so long in the tooth here, I'd fight you a little bit, but
well, I could potentially put him in GOAT. If you're thinking GOAT, Rob, then I'd give you that second vote.
I am thinking GOAT. I think Randy Orton is the heel you build the company around.
All right. Well, again, we may adjust things, but there's 2 for GOAT type status. Riddick Moss, MVP. Middle of the road.
Oh wow, below par. What the fuck?
It's hard to tell really. Cause
he's loaded with potential, but all we've ever seen him do is pin Mojo Rawley and get pinned while running in his neighborhood.
I'd say he comes across as very like a dime a dozen kind of guy, so I think he's below par.
Alrighty.
I know it's like middle of the road should be like the average, but I think he's below that really. Matt Riddle,
above average.
Main event, I think.
One of these 2 for me.
Like, because I can't just see him like the Miz above a guy like Matt Riddle.
You know what? I'll give him that though.
Main event.
I don't want to see the Miz above Matt Riddle.
Alrighty. Gentleman Jack Gallagher, I feel, has gone way down. I'd put him below par at this point.
Yeah.
Yeah, his current character just doesn't.
I'd put Brazongo in middle of the road.
Fandango and Breeze.
Yeah.
Middle of the road. I can see that. Yeah.
Yeah, I think they're both middle of the road right now.
Fun tag team.
I wouldn't go any higher. Dijakovic.
Main event.
I'd go above average for right now.
Yeah, I just don't think he has the weight of personality or the promo skills to be main event. He's definitely above average.
Because to me, I put him like with an Aleister Black, where it's like, all right, you're gonna build around this dude, but I kind of look at this range as like they've already reached that level in some ways. So I'd go here, but it's like, I mean, you could eventually throw that guy up in main eventer.
Let's see some other ones. Drew Gulak.
Gulak, I'd go above average.
Yeah, I think he's proven that he could be above average. He's got a lot of personality. He's got more personality than a lot of the people that were in the original Cruiserweight division.
Solid mid-carder and stuff too.
Yeah. Also, speaking of Cruiserweight, we've got the Brian Kendrick there as well.
I mean, like, if this is my company, I'd do everything I could to get him into a main event picture, but middle of the road.
Brian
Yeah,
Kendrick,
just-
middle
Yeah,
of the
he's a
road.
good middle of the road guy. See what else we've got left. Let's get through some of the either UK or just cruiserweight sort of guys. But we've got Jordan Devlin there. I mean, he has to be below Finn Balor,
Well, yeah.
like mini Finn Balor.
I'd go
He's
middle
lesser
of the road. He's on par
I
with
think-
Scott, Tozawa, those kind of guys. To me.
Maybe I kind of feel like he's above average, but we can leave him middle of the road for now.
I haven't seen anything from Devlin that makes me go, I need to rewatch that match. Like, Kyle O'Reilly's a better performer to me.
Well, that's true, but I love Kyle O'Reilly, so I would always say that.
No, that's not a slight to Kyle O'Reilly. That's just proof that Kyle O'Reilly's better.
All right.
Oh, I love Kyle O'Reilly. I was saying, like, keep Kyle O'Reilly. If it was my choice, I'd make him my goat, and I'd have him as champion for the entire year. But you know,
We got a
Tim
weird range of some stuff going on here. Yeah.
Yeah.
Thatcher, where is Thatcher?
next to Ciampa.
Aha. Thatcher to me, middle of the road for right now.
Above average.
middle of the road. I need to see more still.
Yeah.
Shorty G, below par.
No, it's my company. Chad Gable's.
Okay, all right. If we're doing the my company thing, then he's a main eventer.
I'd go middle
Yeah,
of the road.
Above average. He's too good. He's got too
Alright.
much.
I'll concede to above average. I hate the Shorty G gimmick.
Well,
I hate the short.
You were going below par. I was going middle of the road, and Callum was going above average. It kind of balances out to middle of the road. But do you want to bump him up 2 spots, Rob?
I'll bump him up. I'll put him in the same category as Corbin, where it's like, if I could get the stupidity off of him and it was my company, he'd be doing great things.
Yeah, because it's just like, if it's my company, he's Kurt Angle in my company.
Great in-ring performer. Can't really cut a whole lot of promos.
He's
So
great.
he
He's got a lot of personality. Like, you look at the American Alpha stuff, he just hasn't been used properly.
He's ready, willing, and capable, damn it. Like,
Samoa Joe, I'm going main event.
Yeah, if he can wrestle still, then yeah, he's definitely
I
main.
hope so, yeah.
I'm putting. Oh, this isn't sure. Velveteen Dream.
Main event.
No,
Middle of the road.
2 years ago, I would say, 2 years ago, I would have said Velveteen Dream main event. Now he's not good enough in the ring anymore. He's lost a step.
Above average?
Above average, I'd say, yeah. He's gone from being
He
like
took
a person that.
hit for me.
Yeah, it was like he's gone from a guy I thought like, yeah, he could be like a world champion multiple times to someone who's like, yeah, probably Intercontinental champion. That's about it, really.
I still think that he's got major upsides to him. Oh, we still have Shane Thornton on here.
Below par, Tony.
Yeah, below par.
He's got some potential, but I'm going to go below par too.
Killer Cross, I won't put him any lower the middle of the road, but perhaps even above average.
I'd go above average for right now just by assuming.
The president.
There's a lot they could do with him.
Yeah.
There's a lot they could do with him, and there's a lot that anyone running the WWE could do with him. So I think that he's above average. He's got just so much presence about him. Bobby Roode is an interesting one, or Robert Roode, however you want to talk. Because this is not the same Robert Roode of
Middle of the road.
several years ago. So I think it's either middle road or below par, really.
He
It's Bobby
can't.
Roode.
I won't put him below par. I just refuse to, but he's definitely not who he was.
Bobby Roode and then TNA main eventer. Bobby Roode right now,
yeah.
middle of the road.
Bobby Roode should have totally jumped right into the world title picture on whatever brand. But they just, I don't know how they did that.
I'm interested about MVP. Because MVP is like, I know obviously he only wrestles sporadically now and he's mainly a manager, but he's got, I knew he was good on the mic, but he's a lot better on the mic than I ever gave him credit for.
As a mouthpiece, he's main event.
So,
As in ring, he's middle of the road, so I'll level that out and put him in above average.
MVP at his best, main event, but now I can't go as high as main event.
I'd probably say
I'd go middle of the road above average.
I'd say middle of the road just because like if he didn't have someone to be the guy that he was guiding, then he wouldn't be like if he was on his own and just wrestling in the company, he wouldn't be able to probably go like mix it up with the guys in the above average tier.
Yeah, there's 2 for middle of the road. Almost done here as far as not just rearranging some things. Gargano, main eventer.
Man event.
Yeah, main event.
Tommaso Ciampa, main event.
Yo, yeah.
Yeah, main event as well. He's shown a lot more. Because I originally said that if it's out of the two of them, then Gargano's the main eventer, but
Yeah,
Ciampa's shown a lot more recently.
But if you told me to put one down, I put Ciampa in above. I mean, I put Gargano in above average because Ciampa has shown verbal chops in the microphone.
Let's see, Roman's
At
least
to say
a
that
minute.
if you use him correctly, Roman is a goat.
Uh,
Roman is a
absolutely.
franchise player. He's someone you can build a company
Absolutely.
around.
Let's go to him.
Yeah.
And we got Murphy. He is very good. I
Middle of the
wouldn't
road.
I wouldn't main event him, but I'd go
I'd go
above average.
Yeah, I'd go above average, but I think he's got a lot more than what they have used him for, which is just a lackey to Seth Rollins.
And we got Ali, Noam Dar, and Ricochet. Who do we go with next?
Why did we save those three for last?
Just randomly come out that way.
So
Dar.
I'd actually put them
No,
all in the same range. I'd put them all at
Middle of the
either above average or middle of the road, but I'd lean more towards above average for all three of them.
I'd say Dar is the middle of the road out of the three of them.
I would agree.
Because it's just a size thing, and also he's just his accent isn't wouldn't really endear himself to a WWE audience. I don't think.
I would put Ricochet above average. Ali.
Ali's an interesting one because I think that he's someone, because just the strength of his positive personality, is someone that you could put in the main event and someone they'd really get behind. And Ricochet should really be a main eventer considering his skill set, but I think considering the personalities, a lot of people on top, I think they're both really fitting up above average right now. Someone you could build up really, but maybe not yet, just main event.
All right, well then that's this for this shot. So who are we moving around?
I just want to say, so there's not many people that I want to super.
Yeah, there's not a lot that I would really.
It's a lot of people. If we looked at the very top, like these the goats and stuff, I think that is there anyone in the main event that really screams like they could move up to the goat tier? But the ones that for me out of these ones are either Keith Lee and Adam Cole, probably.
Those two would probably be the closest that I would bump up. Maybe Drew McIntyre, but I would lean more towards keeping him in main event. Yeah, McIntyre's been doing a better job as champion than I thought that he would, to be honest.
And he's working against some really shitty circumstances.
For being in a really shitty circumstance, McIntyre is doing better, but I still
they've booked him brilliantly.
I wouldn't go okay, well, if we were doing the mock draft again, it wouldn't be okay, we go Styles and Bryan and Owens, and I wouldn't be okay, McIntyre's my number 4, that kind of thing.
I just feel like out of these ones, you just if you just didn't know anything about them, you just saw them all perform. Just think someone with Keith Lee's athletic ability, his charisma, his build, his size, all that other stuff. Just how could you look at someone like Keith Lee and say, I couldn't make him my world champion, and it wouldn't go anywhere? If you knew what you were doing, Keith Lee would be a megastar.
Keith Lee to me is above Walter, so I'd be totally fine with that.
As I look at the main eventers, I'd put Cole. I'd build around Cole. I could see that happening. I could build around Keith Lee, and I could build around Walter.
Yeah, but if it's if you could only put one out of the 3, then I'd go Keith Lee. If you could put 2, then I'd go Lee and Cole.
If you could only put 1, I'd also say Keith Lee.
That would be 3 of us then. So let's bump them up. Why not?
Yeah, we can have 8 there. I think that's fine. I think 8 is a good level for that.
That's a hell of a list, guys.
I'm looking.
Hang on, how do you feel about Miz going into above?
I think Miz is still main eventer. He's not as good in the ring as some things, of course, but I feel like he more than makes up for it with just how dedicated he is, how great of a talker he is, how energetic he is, how long he's been in the company for all this time. He could have easily left. So it's somebody that you really consider a valuable guy.
In the above average. Because I'm looking at it, if we have Dolph in the middle of the road, Miz is just a little bit more charismatic than Dolph, but they had the same circumstances of been there forever,
I'd bump
reached
up
a plateau.
Dolph.
What about you, Calum? Would you bump up Dolph?
No.
It's up to you, Rob.
He's lucky he's getting middle of the road with me.
If you vote to
Miz
bump up
and
Dolph,
Morrison?
then it'll be 2 for above average.
I'm not. I don't think.
But you're saying the Miz is ahead of Dolph, so you can't move Dolph and keep them.
I'm saying Miz is ahead of Dolph, but I'm saying I think I'd look around at the surroundings and I would put both Miz and Morrison in above average.
I think I think it's probably not like the most like crucial thing to be arguing over. So I'm fine. I'm fine with him being like leaving him there for now. But it's just a case like if it was my personal list, then he wouldn't be that high up. But we're trying to be a bit more consensus driven.
I look at this as a combo of what has WWE done, what's their legacy, and what would I do.
What would I do with that? Yeah.
So like to me, like I mean, Aleister Black, great. Like I'd try to build him up a hell of a lot more. But somebody like Bray Wyatt, I'm like, you've had more than enough chances at this point. You're fucking above average, like that kind of thing. Like so.
Yeah, I think it's a good mix.
Above
I think
average, that kind of thing.
Yeah, and I think most people like there's like obviously like there's a few tweets we could make if we had like an infinite amount of time. But I think we're like in the time that we've dedicated to this, I think this is a good structure to have. And I think going forward, because I like the idea of doing like tier lists more going forward, but I think going forward we'll have a bit more of a finite number of people and build it around a theme rather than just. But we have to start with the big. We have to start with the big one.
Like greatest wrestlers of all time, just in general.
Yeah, hundreds and hundreds on the list.
Yeah. I'll just get building like the thousands upon thousands of wrestlers in there.
Yeah. I think we should all quit our jobs and just dedicate our lives to building a concise tier list.
To one single tier list.
And then people will just be, hang on, you missed Nick Bockwinkel. God, guys, that's a terrible list.
Well, I'm not going to read off everybody like I did in the women's division one because that would just take forever.
Go on YouTube and watch it.
It's a great list. I want to definitely do more. This was a lot of fun. But yeah, I agree with Callum. The next ones will have a more concise theme.
Well, that just completely undid that. I'm clicking on Dear List.
Well, then.
Let me see if that... Oh, okay. That's good.
Okay.
For future reference, if you swatch it over to the other thing, it doesn't really change it. So, yeah, this is our...
Tony's never used a computer before, guys.
Yeah.
I never bothered to do quadrant view on this. I don't know. That didn't look like that was all that good.
No, it's just... quadrant view is like a... if you were to do, like... If you would set... It's one of those things where, I don't know, if you put, like, hard and soft and different ends and then large and small different ends and you'd fit people into those categories. Ugh. So maybe we could have one, like, if we do something like wrestling ability and promo skills, and good and bad either side of it, then we could fit people into that going forward. That's a different approach you could take to it.
Well, this looks like this is pretty much our list, so hopefully you guys enjoyed that.
Suck.
Yeah, drop a comment below. Tell us where you would rank certain people, how you want to argue for certain people to go up or down on the list, or any of that kind of stuff. And what would you like to see for future tier lists too? If we have this all sorted out, and if this, like, the recording method that I've tried works out well, and if it doesn't take 6 days to process the video and everything like that, because we're recording this in the afternoon on Wednesday. We'll see when it ends up getting.
I want to do one of these for Mania for sure, like best Manias, or ranking the Manias by tier list.
I would totally not be able to do it because I would just.
Well, me and Callum would have to do that because I'm sure Callum has seen all.
I've not watched all the Manias, so I wouldn't be able to do that.
I would never go back and watch them, but I've seen all of them enough times to know which ones are good and which ones.
I'd be able to do one about like WWE champions, whatever, but try and fit it with, or like some sort of champions, but fit it within a level that we're all fairly familiar with, rather than because it's hard to really say like, oh, how great a champion was, Ivan Koloff or something.
You heard it here first, folks. Tier list ranking European champions coming to Smark moment.
There's options. So we could do the belt things, like your favorite belt designs. We could do different champions.
We could say screw the voting and do champs giving via tier list by ourselves.
At that point, yeah. So there's options. Stay tuned, see what happens. And I don't know what our next thing is that we're going to do. It might be... No, it's not going to be the mailbag. Q3 mailbag is coming up soon. It's the beginning of the July section somewhere. But I do think that we have kind of a blank week for next week. So I don't think we're going to do a tier list again. But hey, if you guys love this, then maybe we will. maybe we'll do some just podcast things. Maybe we'll do something specific. I don't really know, but toss your suggestions in the comments below. Hit that like button. Follow us all over the place. Follow what I mentioned before, but also follow what these guys have going on. Rob's at Dude Felice on Twitter, and Callum is at Wigmeister14. They've got some other things that they can plug, though. Callum?
Yes, so I've got the Twitter out of the way, so I can talk to you about following, not following, but checking out all the articles on smarkamoment.com, including the power rankings, but check out all the other ones as well. And then starting from this Saturday, you'll be able to listen to the very first edition or episode 0 of our new Paul Heyman SmackDown podcast. Obviously, a little bit out of date considering that Paul Heyman is no longer in the company anymore, but hopefully you enjoy it anyway. It's when me and Rob go back in time, similar to the 2001 series, but this time we're going to 2002-2003 era SmackDown, reviewing all the episodes, and it's going to be a lot of fun. So we hope you join us on Saturday to listen to that one.
Yes, and if you just love that, you can donate to the Darkcast tier, and we'll rank Triple H's Reign of Terror. We'll make Callum sit through that. Yeah, outside of all the other stuff Tony mentioned, you can check out Fightful and Fightful Select and WrestleZone.com. That's where I am most of my days. And I want to thank you for going on this journey with us.
Thank you, everybody, for following us, following all the things that we're doing on the podcast stuff for Smark Out Moment, for Fanboys Anonymous, all the website material that are on these sites as well. And if you are heading over to smarkoutmoment.com and you are following all the other things that we've got on the site, that isn't just podcast related, because we've got, the weekly types of things, and we got pay-per-view predictions and everything else like that. We also have the Sexiest Superstars tournament going on right now, qualifying round 2. And we're going to move along with that. Of course, Extreme Rules is coming up in a couple weeks, so we're going to get to that. Fighter Fest, it's not really a pay-per-view, but that's happening. So just browse the website. Click.
We can do a Darkcast review, me and you, of a Fighter Fest.
We might be doing something like that. I might be having things up on Bleach Report and Wrestling News. And, just kind of start clicking around. Check out the merchandise shops, TeePublic and Redbubble for Fanboys Anonymous and for Smark Out Moment and for A Mango Tees. And just start doing all these, following things, liking things. Look at all these platforms. And we will see you.
Really, Tony, how many platforms are you on?
Lots of platforms. It's so much stacked up that I'm 1,000 feet tall. So, yeah, that's your tier list, everybody. Thank you for listening to this, and we will see you next time. But for now, this has been another Smark Out Moment, and we're being counted out.